Prado. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is the main event of the evening here on Facebook, Fight Night Live. Our main event is scheduled for 10 rounds in the welterweight division, and it's brought to you by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing and presented by Model Sporting Goods, the Inn at Fox Hollow, Camelot Limousine, WBAB Radio 1023, Mr. Custom Made. For a knockout look, check out MrCustomMade.com. Elite Heat Water and Ball Wash to remind you to keep the funk off your junk. Our main event this evening is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges in the contest are Kevin Morgan, Anthony Paolillo, and John Basili. Controlling the action at the sound of the bell, the referee in charge is Anthony Clarentano. And now, once again, live from the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, 10 rounds in the welterweight division, your main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, it's go time! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 144.8 pounds. He owns a veteran professional record consisting of 17 victories against only 9 defeats and 4 draws. 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing blue and white and hailing from La Paz, Carrizo, Nicaragua. Please welcome in his 31st professional bout, ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Lara. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 142.6 pounds. He owns a professional record consisting of 14 victories against only 3 defeats, 5 big wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing white with silver and gold, representing Hicksville, Long Island, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Showtime Karperis.
Anthony, Nelson, we went over the rules in the locker room. I want a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Good luck to you, Anthony. Buena suerte, Nelson. Touch him up.
So going to the tail of the tape, Nelson Lara is 34 years old, where Anthony Karperis is 29, so there's about a 5-year age difference there. Both guys are, Anthony's 5'5", he's 2 inches shorter than Lara, but I don't think that's really going to come into play just because of the styles of both fighters and both coming in 2 pounds apart.
Well, we're underway. Anthony Karperis in the white, Nelson Lara in the blue.
And we were mentioning guys Lara has fought. I mentioned another one. I actually watched that fight. He fought Keandre Gibson, who a good young fighter as well. I had Keandre Gibson as one of my sparring partners when I fought Adrian Brown, a good fast-handed fighter.
Little left hook from Karperis.
So, Paulie, what does Karperis have to do to win this fight? So from what you know of Lara and just from what you know of Anthony?
Well, you're going to see Lara try to come forward and try to, work his way inside. Guys like Lara who are a mixed bag because the reality is they don't have a very creative style. They just try to come forward and, get to you little by little through their pressure. Right now, Lara's just trying to warm himself up. And, of course, Karperis is doing what he's doing, kind of using the ring and picking his spots. And he's going to be able to keep picking his spots if Lara doesn't cut off the ring. And right now, Lara is just kind of following him around. Right. So Karperis is able to step around when he wants to, land a punch when he wants to, and step back around. So one thing for Lara that he's got to start doing, if he's going to make Karperis, is if he's going to force Karperis into making any kind of decisions in there, stress decisions in there, more that matter, he's going to have to start cutting off the ring.
Right. And that's interesting when you say that, for a guy like this to learn how to cut off the ring, is that something impossible as you get older and set in your style, or is it something that can still be learned?
No, cutting off the ring is not that difficult once you get grasp the general concept of it.
But if you're a guy that's gone through 20 fights, not cutting off the ring really, is it something that you could pick up down the line, or is it something that you just never get?
Well, you shouldn't have to pick it up. I think at the end of the day, you should be something that your trainer shows you. Once you understand the concept, it's not that difficult. If you don't understand the concept that somebody can show you 100 times, you'll never figure it out. If you understand the concept, there's a concept to cutting off the ring.
So what's the concept? Tell the audience.
Oh, you know, for myself, when I was cutting off the ring, I like to do it from just out of punching range. So, because a lot of times when you're cutting off the ring, you know, you're going to get to the guy and he's going to punch you first. So you cut it off from just outside punching range. You make that stress, make them feel that stress of running out of room, and then you cut the distance when you make them stop moving. But right now, Lara's not doing that, and Karperis is picking his spots very nicely, doubling up those hooks. There's a nice little uppercut left hook there as well.
Good left to the body, Lansing. Nice little short left to the body. Coming across with the right to the head.
I'd like to see some snappy jabs from either guy, though. You know, right now, I mean, Karperis really isn't being put in a position to have to think. But these are also the kind of fights where, you know, you want to work on things that you'll probably need against better opposition. So either guy, for that matter, I'd like to see some snappy type jabs, because that also can, besides disrupt the other guy, can also set up more offense.
Coming to the close of round one, scheduled for 10. Anthony Karperis and Nelson Lara. Nice uppercut by Karperis.
There's a snap jab there, just as I said, right?
I think I heard you. It's interesting that you point that out, Paulie, because, you know, for someone who does box a lot like Karperis, he does throw minimal jabs. That's a good point. He throws a nice jab when he throws it, but he's not a jabber per se.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to put a guy in a position to where he's going to need it. I think Karperis at this point in the fight sees that he doesn't need it, but as I said before, you still want to be able to use things in fights like this that you may not necessarily feel like you need, because you want to get into the habit of using them, because as better fighters come along, you want to be in the habit of using the weapons that will, you know, get you through trouble and make you control rounds, such as a simple jab. Some replays there from the last round, some exchanges, and good defense by Karperis. You know, he was in and out very well that last round, and had a good understanding of range. And there's a little touch right hand to get Lara to duck his head down and throw the left uppercut. That's what I like to throw throwaway punches, called throwaway punches. That overhand right was a throwaway punch, got Lara to duck, and then got him to duck right into the left uppercut.
Starting round two, scheduled for 10. Anthony Karperis had a good first round with Nelson Lara. Then probably did his best work at the end of the round. Lara now trying to be a little bit more aggressive here as we start round two.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure out a way to cut the range down. And there's some punches, even off balance, but he's going to have to start putting Karperis under a little bit of duress if he's going to have any chance of
And how does he do that? How does he put Karperis under duress? If that was you, I mean,
well, again,
within his limitations.
Within his limitations, he hasn't cut off the ring, so obviously we're not going to get that out of him at this point. I think it's becoming rather obvious, but at least when you're in this range right here, you want to start getting punches off. You want to be first. See, Karperis is doing a good job of being first. He's landing first, and then he's leaving him there every time. So if you're not going to cut the ring off, you got to start being first and beating Karperis to the punch. Karperis doing a good job. Karperis really, there's a nice overhand right by Lara. Karperis does a good job of understanding who he is and who he isn't, especially in this fight.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of his style. I think he has a nice style, an interesting style. He picks his punch. I like the way he puts his punches just like in the right spots, you know. And I don't really think there's much Lara could do except throw those hard shots like that and throw them first, like you said.
I'll tell you what, he's found the home for that right hand a couple times in this round, and it might be something to keep an eye on. There it is again. Karperis taking a couple clean right hands, and Lara's noticing it, Mark. Lara's noticing it. He's starting to let it go more. There, he's trying it again.
So why doesn't Anthony bring his hand up?
Well, we'll see. It's either putting your hand up or control the range.
Right. And that's a 30-fight veteran. That's experience. He's noticing little things and things he can exploit.
Right.
Now the retort for Karperis could be to bring that right hand out of Lara and start to slip it and make him pay for it. Because now you know he wants to throw it. He's had some success with it and he wants to throw it.
Good little left inside by Karperis, and Lara trying to land some shots coming out of that. Good body shot from Karperis.
Tell you what Lara's doing now, he's translating that right hand that he's landing, getting partially blocked, but now that he's using it as a rangefinder even, so that he can actually whip a left hook to the body right after he throws it. And a lot of times that's just torque, Mark. You know, you throw the right hand, you get the torque for the left hook to the body.
Anthony Karperis, I was talking to him last night, and it's pretty interesting. He tells me he walks around on weight, so his diet must be something that's interesting. You don't really meet fighters that are walking around that weight. He was eating the day of the weigh-in, he's telling me, and drinking water. So I don't know what he's doing that what nobody else is doing, but it must be something good.
Something a lot of fighters probably be jealous of, right?
End of round 2. Good right from Karperis.
He was actually telling me he had to eat to gain weight for this fight because I guess it kept going up in weight. So he's like, oh, God, I have to eat more. I was like, really? I feel bad for you. You know?
You're on Fight Night Live. Be back next month from Atlantic City. A very interesting fight, Paulie. You know both these kids very well. Gabriel Bracero, who you fought, taking on Thomas Lamana. Very interesting fight.
Yeah. I've done some sparring with Thomas Lamana. I fought Gabriel Bracero, and I know him for many years. I think it's a nice little clash of styles. You know, Lamana kind of has some silky, smooth boxing styles. Bracero's got some decent boxing skills, but, you know, he's getting a little bit up there in age, but he's a wily, savvy veteran. And punches a little harder than people give him credit for. I was in the ring with him as well. And obviously we saw him knock Danny O'Connor off cold. So
that was one of the most
that'll give you an idea that, you know, he does hit a little harder than people think. There's some action from the last round, Kara. There's that right hand that we were talking about with Lara. He started finding a home for it. And there's the one that he translated to the left hook to the body, although Karperis punched inside him there.
Round 3 scheduled for 10. Anthony Karperis and Nelson Lara.
Mark, did you get a chance to talk? Well, does Nelson Lara speak English? I'm not sure because I interviewed a bunch of them, but I didn't really get to talk to him.
I do not believe so.
So another thing Anthony does, which I thought was interesting, that he does after every fight, is he goes on vacation. So he's going to like the Dominican Republic or Hawaii or something 5 days after this fight. And he's done that for the past 4 fights. So he like goes to the training camp. He has something to look forward to. Maybe that's why he's on weight, because he knows he's going on this trip afterwards. He could eat, he could drink, but you know, that's a kind of interesting
Everybody has
strategy.
Their quirks. Every fighter has their quirks.
Go on vacation after every fight. That's great.
There's a left to the body from Lara.
For some fighters, the vacation is just not training.
The vacation is he's going to like these all-inclusive resorts where he's eating it, whatever he wants, he said, but then he gets there and he doesn't even want to eat as much as he thought he would.
Those are the guys who vacation before the fight. Left to the body from Lara and a right from Lara.
Lara's starting to close that range just a little bit.
Right, yeah.
And he's getting those hands moving. It's the kind of fight Lara wants. He wants a rough kind of fight. Karperis digging into the body, but this gives Lara his only chance of winning the fight because he's not going to win an outside fight. Karperis is too fast on his feet. But you start fighting him inside, or if he can force the fight inside more and more, it gives him a chance to land his own shots.
Yeah, Karperis, if he just did what he just did there, it's easy work for him, as they say.
Yep, but of course you start to move and move and move, and sometimes fatigue starts to set in, especially as Lara starts to up the pressure. He's coming in a little faster now than he was in round 1. Still would do himself a favor if he cut the ring off, though. You're starting to see Karperis slow down just a little bit. It doesn't mean he's having bad rounds, but you could see Lara, if he cut the ring off, would actually give him might be starting to give him a lot of trouble. You see he's starting to touch him a little more. Karperis did with a good shot there on the outside. Lara's starting to close a little bit of range. Good combination.
Nice combination of the head. Lara's been stopped 6 of his 9 losses. And Karperis has been stopped in all 3 of his losses. Nice right from Karperis.
From someone like Lara, it has to be like baffling to fight someone like Karperis. He's constantly on one side, then he's on the next. Like I give Anthony credit for that, the way he moves, like at those angles.
Yeah, when he's on like right now, like the last 30 seconds, he's boxing beautifully, and that's what you want to see him. Nice little creativity with a double left hook.
I love those angles. I wish he'd do more. You know, that's when he is at his best.
Karperis needs to. If there's a criticism for Karperis, is that he doesn't do this consistently, because this is when you want to see him do all the whole time. You know, right? Sometimes he'll go into lulls and slow down.
But I've seen some of your fights, like I could say similar to you. I've seen sometimes when you're like really on and you start messing with the guy cutting angles, and then all of a sudden you're not. Like what's the explanation for that really?
Sometimes you get fatigued. Sometimes you run out of ideas.
How do you run out of ideas? If you're hitting the guy, I don't think that's an idea you want to run out of.
Yeah.
End of round 3, scheduled for 10. Anthony Karperis.
Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing is brought to you by Modell's Sporting Goods. You gotta go to Moe's. The Inn at Fox Hollow. Camelot Limousine, family owned and operated since 1984. And WBAB 102.3, Long Island's classic rock.
Starting round 4, Mark Abrams ringside with Kara Castronova and Paulie Malignaggi.
Is this set for 10 rounds? 10 rounds, Mark?
10-round fight.
And 4 out of 10. That's what you got to look at the round card, girls, in between rounds to remind you what round it is.
Sometimes it's that during the fight.
So in the round card, with the round card, girls, Paulie, when you're fighting, sometimes you actually look at the round card to remember what round you're in.
Yeah, I would lose track. Or sometimes you're just having a miserable night and you just want to get to the end. And you want to see how many rounds you got left.
Like what fight would you remember when you're looking at the round card, girls' cards?
Amir Khan.
Really?
Or you see in some of these buildings now, they have the Videotron. You can see the time or how much time is left in the rounds.
I've done that. I've done that. I used to do that in the amateurs, too. I remember the finals of Madison Square Garden in the theater. I used to sometimes look up at the clock.
That's useful, that clock.
You see Karperis trying to bully Lara on the ropes. And he steps back to the middle of the ring.
Some more of those nice angles from Anthony Karperis. Every time he uses them, he just lands at will.
Good right and a hard combination in the middle of the ring.
Karperis finding a home for that uppercut more and more often. It's been a punch that's been working for him all night. And there it is again.
Yeah, it's like artistic. Paulie, you made such a good point. Like the jab before that would really just be the icing on the cake, you know? Like using the jab, mixing it up in there. He throws those uppercuts so beautifully.
There he gets caught with a low left hand.
The problem with Lara is he gets front foot heavy, and that's what makes him bend forward and puts him in position to get hit with those uppercuts. And credit to Karperis, he's catching onto it. He's caught onto it from the first round, and then use it.
That was I mean, Karperis got hit with a nice hook right there.
You know, Lara's live though. You know, every once in a while he'll let Karperis know he's there.
Right. Karperis, he has a chin because he gets hit a lot. I mean, he gets hit his fair share. You know.
Karperis has gone 10 rounds twice.
How many knockouts does Anthony Karperis have, Mark?
He's got 5.
That was a nice, fast combination by Anthony Karperis. Another one. Very frustrating, you know. Well, they might not be the hardest punches. Those are the frustrating punches to get hit with.
There's a combination on the ropes from Nelson Lara.
And this is why the importance of Karperis needing to keep moving, because when he does stop, Lara is ready to punch.
That was really nice combinations landing for Anthony Karperis.
4 down, scheduled for 10. How do you see it through the first 4 rounds, Kara?
I mean, Anthony has this fight. Obviously, he's you're sitting here with me. He has control of the fight and he's winning the fight. Nelson Lara has a dangerous right hand and he lands the hook occasionally. So I'm not saying that there can't be a surprise upset. But as far as I'm seeing it, Anthony Karperis will continue to win every round unless something happens that's a surprise, which could happen. And as you know, tonight we saw anything could happen, really. Paulie, how about you? What would you say? Could you see Nelson Lara winning this fight?
You know, you need Karperis to slow down. You know, Lara has some small moments, and I don't know if they're enough to win the round as of now. But as the fight wears on and maybe some fatigue wears in, you know, Lara may have more chances to close the gap and throw those punches. One thing I noticed is when Karperis does slow down, Lara makes sure he does move his hands. So it's going to be interesting to see the late part of the fight if Karperis is a little bit fatigued. What Lara can do about that, or what Lara can do to get him fatigued.
So what do you do if you're Anthony Karperis? Like, you know, you're fatigued, you have to slow down. Do you move a little bit back further? Where do you take that break? Because maybe he's not taking that break in the right spot.
Well, you initiate clinches, you smother instead of going back. Instead of going back, you walk into the guy. You know, initiate clinches.
Right. So if you could tell, would you tell Karperis initiate clinches?
Not right now.
No, when he's feeling like he needs that break.
No, I would say it's smother. You know. Initiate clinch. Sometimes a clinch will come out of a smother, but not necessarily. Another nice combination by Karperis.
Really nice double right hand. I love that combination. Right hand, right hand.
He's landed about 4 or 5 solid shots early here in round 5.
That was a triple left hook.
There's that snappy jab. When Karperis does use it, it lands effectively.
Yeah.
No head movement from Lara, so the jab is there to hit him with.
Right. Target practice.
Karperis lands a right hand. He gets out of harm's way, does what he has to do, lands a couple combinations and just scoots out of the way. Nice jab from Karperis.
And that jab disrupted Lara, who was about to start trying to throw a punch. And that's the effectiveness of
Right.
a snappy jab.
That's it, that
It'll disrupt the other guy's offense or his ability to set up offense.
Karperis has seemed to found a real good rhythm here in round 5. Both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and then this is when he's in a rhythm like this. You know, he's got to be careful with that, pulling back out with his hands up high, with his hands down low. I'm saying with his head up high. But otherwise, you know, he seems to have control of things when he's moving like that.
Tactically, what do guys do then? They move out, they drop their hands. Is that more or less to relax? Is it to
Nice right hand by Lara. Once in a while, it lets him know he's there. I think though, what you want to do if you're Karperis, you're gonna have your hands down, moving out like that. Don't back out square. You know, a lot of times he leaves the pocket too square with his hands low. So he's got his hands low and he's squared up.
Because that's something you do.
Yeah, but the effective thing about me not doing it is that I'm not doing it squared. Because it's square, you're giving yourself too much of a target to possibly get hit. And, you know, he's getting away with it right now, but it's just something you don't want to risk against better fighters.
Right.
Lara lands a little body shot on the ropes.
He's cognizant of his positioning here. You know, hands, shoulder.
Halfway home, scheduled for 10. Karperis and Lara here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island.
Nice right hand by Karperis. So if you're in Nelson Lara's corner, Paulie, what are you telling them? I mean, they're right in front of us. What are they saying in Spanish? Would you interpret?
For starters, you got to tell them to cut the ring off. At this point, you got to start to wonder if they even work on cutting the ring off when they're in the gym, you know? So I don't even know if he knows how to cut it off, but you got to get busy. But in order to get busy, you got to be able to close the range. And that's the thing about, you know, Karperis moving around. And here was just some action from the last round with the replay. Karperis with that, going back to that right hand, left uppercut combination, which has been working for him so well throughout the night. But he's also, there it is again, he's also very cognizant of that he has to step back out. So Lara can't throw the punches if he can't find the range. And the best way to close that range right now for Lara is, again, to cut the ring off. But, you know, we're beating a dead horse here because he's not cutting the ring off all night, and I don't know that he even knows how to. So you got to say you got to throw punches, but in order to throw punches, you got to find the punching range.
Or else you're putting yourself in.
You got to find the punching range in order to throw punches. And the best way to get there for him is to cut the ring off.
Round 6, scheduled for 10. Anthony Karperis in control of this fight.
So, Paulie, if this is you, right? You're Karperis. You're in the ring. You have the fight pretty much like down. You know, unless you make a mistake, you're probably going to win. What do you start doing at this point? Do you start working on things? What would you do in there?
No, you just continue to do what's being successful.
Or do you just want to win the fight? Is it
you win the fight.
Or do you pick up the pace a little, or just keep it where it's at?
Well, you know, sometimes guys will try to go for the knockout. You know, it depends on what you find risky or what you find, how live you find the guy is. Right now, Lara's a pretty live guy, so I don't know that Karperis just wants to hang out in the pocket trying to chase a knockout. But of course, keep doing what you're doing and see if you can slow him down. Of course, Lara's looking for the same thing, guys. I mean, Lara's also looking for Karperis to slow down so he can corner him and throw some punches.
The thing is, if it's Lara, it's probably going to happen with one shot.
Yeah, he's going to need to.
Where Karperis, he's trying to break Lara down with, combinations and just wearing him down.
It's definitely having its effect.
Just like that, we can just landed 2 nice combinations in the middle of the ring.
And there's a little clinch we saw from Karperis. First time we're seeing that. And sometimes that's very effective defensively as well. You know, you can't always move around as that will fatigue you, but sometimes you initiate a clinch or just a smother.
I think that was kind of what I was getting at before. I would like to see Anthony take more effective breaks. He's constantly moving. He's a very, very energetic, very busy fighter. It would do him some good, I think, to just take a little bit more breaks in there. But without getting hit, obviously.
Good right hand from Lara.
And that's again because he's pulling back out squared, and his defense a little bit low.
Well, like you said, these rounds are they're repetitive. Karperis is controlling about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Only gets hit with 1 or 2 shots, and that's pretty much been each round.
Yeah, basically carbon copies of themselves pretty much. And get that snappy jab.
Right, I like it. He's working on the jab. That would be something nice for him to move around, just like at distance, throw the jab, which he's doing right now.
There's a left hook from Lara, a little short. A little right side and a left hook. Karperis back to the jab.
It's just so interesting, Paulie, how kind of styles make fights. You know, when we were sitting here watching him fight Burrell, it was such an exciting fight, and it was such a, you know, it could have gone either which way. And, you know, he's fighting a guy now who probably had more fights than Burrell had, and it's not as, you know, it's not as competitive.
Yeah, a little bit limited as Lara.
End of round 6, scheduled for 10.
Fight Night Live on Facebook is presented by Mr. Custom Made. For the perfect knockout look, check out MrCustomMade.com. Elite Heat Water. And Ball Wash, who reminds you to keep the funk off your junk.
We're back here at the Paramount, Huntington, Long Island. Mark Abrams, Cara Castronova, Paulie Malignaggi.
So I was talking to Anthony last night, and he was telling me, I don't know, he's just telling me a little bit about his background. You know, he's a personal trainer, so he's constantly in the gym. You know, he said he's constantly eating healthy, so he never really puts on weight after a fight. He's always in shape, which I think is pretty cool.
Anthony Karperis in control of this bout.
Another thing he also told me that was interesting was he didn't really do much research on Lara before the fight. He didn't want to sort of overthink it and overanalyze, and that he doesn't really, you know, he doesn't really like to overanalyze his opponents.
You see some fighters that love to watch video, and then some fighters that don't like to watch at all. So, you know, it depends. It works for some, doesn't work for others.
Uppercut in the right hand. Lara's trying to... Oh, a good right hand by Lara.
And again, coming out too high up.
Now, for the first time in the fight, he's actually following up on his shots.
You know, could also be Karperis slowing down a little bit. We'll see. Karperis being smart, though. You see now he's coming forward, trying to smother that work.
Combination again from Lara. Left from Karperis.
The combination that actually got Lara's attention and backed him up.
Now they're going at it in the middle of the ring here in Huntington.
This is a little bit different right now. Anthony Karperis just sort of hitting him at will right now.
Creative combinations by Karperis. We'll see if he gets winded. Lara should be attacking right after these combinations. As Karperis is trying to recover. Let's see.
Good right.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about right here.
Hard combination from Nelson Lara.
And that's the thing about throwing these creative combinations is you got to make sure you have your rest after them. You got to make sure you find that low.
And here comes Karperis back as they trade left hooks.
This is the most fun fight of the round, guys. I mean, most fun round of the fight.
Most fun fight. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, things, you know, every round has pretty much been a, you know, copy of the one before, but this round is definitely more interesting.
Karperis misses with a right.
Yeah, I don't like seeing him throwing those overhands.
Hard right on the ropes again from Lara.
Lara is a little bigger than Karperis, and I know Anthony was telling me he was sparring with bigger guys for this fight because he knew that Lara was gonna. He was coming down from a weight, you know, he was coming down to meet him at even heavier weight than Anthony normally fights at.
Good round 7. Entertaining round. Do you see any fatigue on the face or the body reaction of Anthony Karperis, Paulie?
You know, just the fact that Lara was able to reach him a little bit more often the last round. You know, Karperis landed his share of good shots as well, but you saw Lara was able to reach him a little bit more last round. It's probably Lara's best round of the fight.
What did he do differently?
I just think Karperis is just backing out in ways where, you know, he was a little bit reckless defensively, and now being that he's fatigued, he's a little slower, and so he's paying for the errors of positioning that he's been making the whole fight, but now he's a little slower on the out.
Round number 8. Starting to get a little bit interesting here.
When Karperis is full energy, you can get away with some of the errors, you know, just on reflexes and just on natural timing and whatnot. This is why, though, you want to have always your fundamentals down pat, because when you get fatigued, you can't rely on that natural stuff.
Left hand finished up a nice combination from Anthony Karperis.
Just got hit with the right hand, and Anthony just had to go back.
And that was after a nice combination he had just thrown too. You know, a nice little move on the side. But again, you can't be reckless on the out.
Right.
He did everything so right there, but a little bit reckless on the out, just a little high up.
More of those like really nice fast combinations by Anthony.
Lara trying to press forward, lands a combination on the ropes. Karperis gets away.
Yeah, Lara not going away. He's the kind of guy, he's pesky, man.
Right. It's unnerving fighting a guy like this, a guy that you just keep hitting with everything but the kitchen sink, and they keep coming forward. It's, you know, you're like, what else do I have to hit you with so I could take a break? Unless you knock this guy down, he's going to keep coming straight at you.
Jab from Karperis.
And this is what he probably needs. During these lulls, you start controlling the pace with the jab a little bit. It'll probably buy you some time.
Good action in the middle of the ring. Left to the body and a right to the body from Lara. Hard combination to the head.
Lara's going to make this a little difficult as the fight wears on. Karperis still tough and still throwing his own nice combinations, but the return is coming more often.
Good two-way action here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island.
Lara definitely isn't backing down. You know, you'd think by these later rounds he'd be a little, you know, he's been getting hit a lot, but he's still, you know, he's still in the fight 100%.
There's a right again from Lara, and he follows that up with a left to the body. Good combination from Karperis. End of round 8, scheduled for 10.
So Mark, would you give any of those rounds to Lara Nelson? Lara?
I think Lara has won at least one round.
Which round? It was about 2 rounds ago, right?
Yes.
Action on that round, and again the same combination that's worked for Karperis very well, but you see now he's standing too straight up as he's in the pocket, and sometimes he's getting hit on the out.
And he might have won round 8. And Karperis had that nice hard combination at the end of the round, but Lara was very consistent throughout. round 9. Doctor checking Nelson Lara.
What is he checking for, Mark? Does he have a cut?
I haven't seen his cut. Maybe he's taking some punches, but yeah, there is some blood. I think there's some blood around the mouth.
Just as a slower paced round. I think both of these guys are like thinking.
Yeah, Lara's definitely spitting blood out. I see blood coming from his mouth.
And that's not going to help either. Nice straight right hand by Karperis. So like, Karperis would be better off using the jab here. For one, it'll keep busting up Lara and the blood coming out. And also, it'll buy him some time. He won't have to move around as much. He'll be able to rest if he just pumps that jab out and gets Lara to respect it. But instead, see, if he hangs out here and he's not using the jab, or he uses it just as a touch right here, you got to make Lara respect that jab. Body shots from Lara. In the pocket just makes life tougher for Karperis. Doesn't mean he's going to lose the fight, but it just makes life a little more difficult.
Absolutely.
Multiple right hands.
Karperis trying to turn things around, lands a left.
Interesting the way he throws that double right, that triple right. You know, Anthony used to do karate, which you could kind of see in his stance, and he was telling me at the press conference that I was like, what is useful, what did you take out of karate, sort of, that from your childhood that translated into boxing? And he was like, it's the confidence. Like, if you're in the ring when you're 12 years old with these guys that are bigger than you and you're sparring with guys and like hurting them and they're older guys, it's not like the karate technique per se, but it's just the confidence that you build as a kid, like fighting these big guys and beating up on them. So I thought that was a good point that he made.
That's one of the things. Oh, nice shot there. It's just one of the things sports to do to a kid is give them that confidence and self-esteem. It's the reason why a lot of parents put their kids in sports.
Yeah, I don't think his parents put him in karate knowing he was gonna start boxing, because I met his dad and his mom, and they get so nervous. I don't think when they put him in, they were like, oh, our kid's gonna box one day. And look, he couldn't get out of combat sports, and he was telling me that's because he likes the solo sport. He doesn't like a team sport. That's what attracts him to it, because it's all up to you. You know, you're not really relying on a team, so that's why he was always attracted to like combat sports, because it's just relying on yourself in there.
Lara trying to press the action. We're going to go to the 10th and final round here in Huntington, Long Island.
Nice job by Anthony Karperis. Last round. So how do you guys think that he's going to, the last round, are they both going to come out harder? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think Lara needs a knockout.
So you think he's going to come out going crazy?
I think if he has the energy for it, we'll see action from that last round. You see, Karperis does good stuff even on the inside. A double right hand, a triple right hand there. As long as he's changing the angle, Lara is a lost soul, But if he doesn't change the angle, you're giving Lara your only chance of landing shots, because in the pocket is the only time Lara's going to land a punch. Both guys have found a home for that right hand.
This is the final round. Let's get a big Long Island round of applause for these two warriors.
10th and final round between Anthony Karperis and Nelson Lara. Been an entertaining fight. Mark Abrams, Cara Castronova, and our special guest, Paulie Malignaggi. See Karperis trying to waste time, basically.
Right.
Yeah, at this point, he's got the fight.
Nice tagging it.
Good left hand.
Just a waste on that combination there. Maybe he's trying to finish the show in style. as they say, close the show.
I don't see Lara coming forward with any, like, you know, tremendous punches. Which he definitely has to do if he wants any shot at winning this fight. But so far, we only, I think, have him winning 1 round.
Yeah, you know, could be fatigue on the part of Lara as well, you know.
He's taking a lot of shots in there.
Yeah.
Also, when you have 9 losses, you start to think, all right, what's 10 going to do? So you're not going to take a chance on getting yourself knocked out if you are fatigued. We'll see. We'll see what kind of mentality he has. Comes down to his character. Nice uppercut by Karperis.
The guy hasn't really freaking backed down all night. It's just, I guess.
Oh,
good right from Karperis.
That one got Lara's attention. Karperis should probably follow this up right now. Lara's instinct is always to come forward, even when Karperis punches. When you stop him in his tracks like that, it's probably because you got his attention. You might have hurt him.
Good combination from Karperis.
It's just so interesting. Like, where does an instinct like that come from? You just, like, you're getting hit, but you keep running at it. It's just crazy to me.
Good right again.
Really nice combinations in the last round from Anthony Karperis.
I think Karperis, every fighter wants it, but I think he wants to get this stopping.
Right. He's actually putting himself, he's risking more than I thought he would, Anthony, in this round.
Yeah, maybe he feels that Lara doesn't have much left. See if he can close him out.
I guess when you're in there, you sense it. You know, he's sensing things that we, you know, that we might not sense.
Look at Karperis move his hands the last minute of this fight.
Good combinations by Karperis. So Karperis has had himself some good rounds in this fight, but this last round might be his best round of the fight.
What do you think makes it the best round of the fight? It's just the way he's throwing them?
Just the way he's throwing more combinations, you know, and, you know, you can see he's trying to close the show. Whether he gets the knockout or not, he's trying to close the show. So the combinations are more spectacular. They're longer lasting. You know, they're getting the crowd's attention.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for that, too, because he has the fight. I think it's in the bag. So the fact that he's coming out trying to close the show is showing a lot of good character on the part of Anthony Karperis. Knowing that a guy like Lara, you know, even though I don't see a knockout happening, you know, knowing that's his only shot.
Tremendous final round. Good effort by Nelson Lara, but Anthony Karperis is just better on this night. Good fight. Good entertaining fight here to close things out here at the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island.
Like you said, Mark, Anthony was just better. I mean, like, it's 2 different styles, and he was better at their style. Anthony was definitely... he's a better boxer, and Lara's that come forward guy, but you know, he wasn't coming through Anthony tonight. Anthony just had too many answers for him. I had Lara winning 1 round. What do you guys think?
Yeah, 99-91.
Do you think that's what the judges are going to have? Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, 1, maybe 2 rounds for Lara.
I could see them even giving every round to Anthony. I wouldn't be surprised, but I could see them giving 1 or 2 rounds to Lara.
Terrific effort by Anthony Karperis. Nelson Lara was valiant tonight, but he will be on the short end of this decision. Any closing thoughts on this fight, Paulie?
Well, you know, I think it's a good comeback fight for Karperis after the defeat he had in his last fight. You know, I think it's important to get the confidence builder. He had a durable guy in front of him, so he got the rounds. Sees he can still go 10 rounds confidently. Got in some good combinations, some good work, and you know, it's a work in progress for the next time around. You know, you put that Louis Cruz fight a little bit more further back into the memory bank. For Lara, though, it's going to be 3 losses in a row, and you know, he's going to start questioning some things.
And, I think we're almost ready with this decision. See if Anthony Karperis gets his hand raised for the 15th time. And we are almost ready with this decision as our ring announcer Mark Frado talk with Ron Cash. And let's throw up for the last time tonight to Mark Frado.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Long Island, we went the full distance. Let's get a big Paramount round of applause. The final fight of the night goes all 10 rounds. We now go to the judges' scorecards for the decision. Judges Kevin Morgan and John Vasili saw the contest 99-91. Anthony Paolillo scored it 100-90. All three judges in favor of your winner by unanimous decision from Hicksville, Long Island, New York, Anthony Showtime Karperis.
There you have it. Anthony Karperis goes to 15-3. Lara would drop to 17-10-4.
Nice win for Anthony Karperis. I'm very happy for him.
Yep. Now with Karperis going to 15-3. Expect to see him in a maybe a regional title bout coming up soon, or something to that effect. Gonna throw up to Kara Castronova, who has Anthony Karperis. And we'll throw up to Kara.
On your victory, Anthony. How did you feel in there tonight?
Good. You know, Nelson's real tough. He's got the hardest head I've ever hit. You know, my hands are killing me right now, but you know, I don't think anything's broken or anything. But no, it felt good. You know, he puts a lot of pressure, but he doesn't throw a lot. So, you know, I have those times to be able to get out, and you know, I'm not expending too much energy when I'm getting out. You know, because I'm not having to dodge any punches. But overall, it's a tough fight. You know, I mean, a couple of times I thought I was going to pick it up and be able to take him out, but he hung in there. You know, especially the 10th round too. So yeah, tough fight. You know, but came away with the victory.
Was there any round in the fight, I mean, any point in the fight where you thought to yourself, all right, he has nothing for me, I have this in the bag, or were you careful throughout the whole fight? But was there a point in the fight where you thought that?
Maybe the second round. You know, sometimes I tend to get too comfortable and I get a little lazy, and you know, I'm not even saying lazy with my hands down, because when I have my hands down, sometimes I'm focused, but lazy, you know, where I'm just sitting on the ropes and he's kind of pouring it on, stealing the round. So I came back to my corner after the second, and you know, my trainer Billy, he's like, listen, get back to moving, don't be stupid. And you know, after that, I knew I had it. You know, I was just waiting for that last spurt that he had. You know what I mean? So, but it never really came. You know, but he's a tough guy, definitely.
Was his right hand a problem for you at some point?
No, you know, I mean, just stupidity on my part. Dropping my left hand. You know, I mean, it's not like he threw it fast or anything like that. He just, you know, he would throw it and I'd be stupid and kind of hang out. Like I said, I get a little too comfortable there, and but yeah, I got away with it. You know.
Well, it was a beautiful fight. Congratulations. You know, you won almost every single round. I think you won every round, and it was a beautiful performance. I'm looking forward to seeing your next fight.
Thank you. Yeah, looking forward to get back in here. Take a little time off. I told you I'm going on vacation, so enjoy the sun a little bit, and then come back and start training again.
Congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you, Kara.
There you have it, Anthony Karperis, our winner, our main event. Goes to 15-3. All in all, good night of boxing tonight. Michael Stout a winner, Wendy Toussaint a winner tonight. You see some of the action late in our main event between Anthony Karperis and Nelson Lara. Back with Kara and Paulie.
Good performance by Karperis tonight. You know, look, obviously you got the confidence builder out of the way, and you know, you move on to next. What's next?
At 15-3, I could see him fight for one of those small regional titles, or you know, one of those.
At that point in his career, he's got enough pro fights.
He's fighting 10-round fights.
You knock off the Russell this kind of fight.